What I've got here is a hind hoof that was trimmed about 5 weeks ago. This hoof is generally healthy. I want to watch this central sulcus here. Make sure we don't get a groove that starts forming there. But I wanted to show in this trim, I'm cleaning out these collateral grooves. This frog's overgrown. But I want to show a general hoof trim where there's no major pathologies that I'm working to correct. So this frog, this tip of this frog, hey, has grown too far forward. I'm just going to trim it up a little bit, get an idea of where the true tip of the frog is. And this can be tough. I'm actually going to use my bonsai nippers. I'm going to squeeze in here with these. I often can get into a tighter space with these while being more effective than my hoof knife. At times, I want to get under this flap here. Same on this side. Hey, come on, buddy. Here we go. I want to open these up. Even though it's dry conditions, thrush can still form in dark places that don't get cleaned. Maybe manure gets trapped in there. So I want to open these up. There we go. As I can see underneath here, there is some stuff stuck in here, and there is a little bit of black gunk. And I really want to open up all the way back here. There we go. I want to do the same on this side. Hey. And I might be better off using my rasp for this. But I want to open up this central sulcus as well. I'm going to use the sharp edge. Just make a little V. And I will take, where did my hoof pick go? I'll take my hoof pick. Come here. I want to clean all this gunk out. This. You want to be careful because if you poke in here and they've got an infection, they might try and kick. It can be really painful. So he's not showing a pain response, but I still would like that crevice not to be there. So, you know, I said it's a pretty healthy hoof, and it is overall, but it doesn't mean we can't want to make it better. So I'm gonna finish. I like to start with the frog usually when I'm trimming. Of course it depends, but generally that's where I start. I'm gonna sight down my hoof. Okay, because there's not a ton of heel height to take, what I'm gonna do next is come with just my rasp. This is a nice sharp, very sharp rasp. I'm gonna bring these heels back and down to the level of the sole plane. I'm coming flat, I'm not tilting, I'm not pushing more like this. I wanna make a flat landing surface for this horse. I'm gonna take the other side to match. Stand on my stand to give myself more stability. And easy. These bars, I'm just gonna exfoliate a little bit, not much. Might even use my hoof knife instead. Any of this flaky sole that's ready to shed. Looks like this part is gonna come out soon. Come on, come on. This horse is coming off an injury, so he's just readjusting to using the hoof stand, which is why I'm giving him a little grace here. I want to just come a little bit next. I'm just going to take few strokes with my rasp. I like to expose. Hey, come on. I like to expose where everything is before I come with my nippers. I'll start at the toe. I'm trimming right. Hey. I'm trimming, now it's covered because it got dust on it, but this line that's colored white is called the water line. I'm going to trim right into it with my nippers. I'm at about a 45-degree angle. As I come more around towards the quarters, I'm coming more flat with the hoof instead of at the angle. I'm doing a strongest bevel from here to here. 10 to 2 is the strongest, and then tapering out after there. Not that I necessarily want a razor sharp edge after that, but not as much. Now what I'm going to come is reinforce this bevel with my rasp, but make it smooth so there's no jagged edges of the hoof. I can see he's got a little crack right there that could be starting. So I'm just going to take this down, relieve the pressure on that crack. It may chip off a little chunk. It's not a big, huge concern to me. A little high right there. And as far as we're talking about hoof issues, hey, give me a little bit of separation right here. I think all this sole is going to pop out soon. Hey, I'm just going to take my rasp, finish my bevel as much as I can from underneath. Smooth this toe wall, and I'm going to pull a foot forward. With the foot forward on the stand, I'm just going to come from the top and do the rest of the bevel. This part's not really affecting the mechanics as much. It's more to make it look nice and just flow smoothly so I don't have any unevenness left over from coming underneath to do this top bevel. But I'm not taking a ton there. I mostly use the smooth side of my rasp. So I brought his heels back down to the level of the sole plane, exfoliated a little bit of bar, cleaned up the frog and collateral grooves, took the toe back, beveled the hoof wall, and leveled it. Now I'm just going to treat a little bit in here. Here I've got some thrush buster, just going to put in here. No, you can see there could be a crack there. Because this is liquid, it can penetrate deeper than my hoof wax. And I actually broke the tip of this. It's coming out really fast. You don't need to use that much, but it's just because I broke it, it is. But my main thing I want to do here is put this wax. This is pure sole hoof wax in the crevice. I'm going to use my hoof pick to get it in there. I want to create a barrier, a physical barrier for any manure, urine, anything that's going to cause more infection in there. I'm going to push the rest of this down in here. This is more thrush buster than I would have liked, but again, it's because the tip broke. Here we go. So I'm coming on this other hoof here, this other back hoof. Very similar, but it looks like this one, the sole has already started to shed. See what amazing concavity is? This horse was flat-footed, my hoof pick would be like this. That is some intense and good concavity, which I love to see. But before the sole shed, not as much. There's the true sole plane. This is sole, I wouldn't call it, maybe it's retained sole that's not quite ready to shed. Considering it's the middle of summer, the ground's very hard and decently rocky, I'm not going to force this sole out before it's ready. So I'm going to start by just like to see what's going on with the tip of the frog. Nothing gunky in there. I'm gonna, this bar is more ready, but I think it's more a job for my bonsai nipper. So I just tapered this bar so it's coming in more smoothly to the rest of the foot. And I'm gonna get underneath this collateral groove. I'm trying to take as little material as possible while opening up the groove. Okay, here we go. I want to open all the way up here. I don't want his heels being pinched. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. There we go. On this side. Hey. Looks like this is ready to shed out. This is popping off very easily. Right there. So you can see some buildup is underneath here. I don't really want that. Hey. So. Again, this is all ready to come off. You can see now that the sole shed how much hoof wall he has. There's his true sole plane. Oh, I got a little off task there, but I'm back with cleaning up the frog. Well, I did that because I couldn't get under here. Well, that was all that extra sole was on there. So I'm coming down. Hey. Come in with my hoof pick, see if I can't scrape all this out. This definitely needs to get treated. Hey. There we go. Let's see. Well, I initially thought this was not ready to come out, but it is actually popping out quite easily. I'm gonna come, which makes me think his other side is probably gonna pop out more quickly than I had anticipated. So I actually am using my nippers on these heels because there's a good amount more to take. Hey. When you're doing the heels, you really want to make sure you're cutting evenly, not unevenly. And because you really want a flat heel surface. It's really important. I want to open that. I'll take that off as well. I'm just exfoliating this sole. I know I'm using my nippers, but I'm not pushing very hard. Sometimes you gotta find the best angle. There we go. There we go. So, in his case, that was all ready to shed. There we go. Come on. Good boy. So I'm gonna come on this hoof wall. All around. I'm coming above the sole plane a little bit because this is new exposed sole right here. Easy. This outer rim was not shed yet there. I want to see what's happening with this central sulcus. I want this big piece of material trimmed down. Might be totally fine and healthy underneath there, but I want to make sure, and I don't want a lump here causing him to avoid doing a heel first landing. I of course want the frog making ground top contact. I don't want to trim it way down underneath there. So I've got a high spot here, and this heel is significantly higher still, so I'm going to bring this down. And now I want to make sure it's all level, so I'm going to come across both heels. And the frog. Sometimes in the winter when the frog is so soft, you can't really rasp it because it's just too buttery and soft. Can't think of another way to describe it. And The blade of the rasp just doesn't work well. I come get my other high spot right here. I would like this to be a little more open. I'm gonna come, and it's hard in these conditions sometimes. This frog is actually decently soft still. They can get really hard in the summer. But I don't know how well it shows it, but there is some gunk under there. There we go. So I really don't want that stuff to get trapped, which is why I have to open this. It might seem like I'm trimming a lot of the frog, but this whole frog is still here to support the horse, to help pump the blood through the foot, to do everything that the frog is supposed to do. And if I let this infection eat away down here, it could cause some serious problems. So it's very important to not let thrush run out of control on your horse's hooves. Very, very important. Just one little flap I'm trying to get. There we go. Hey, 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 good boy. Good boy. Put it down, put it down. So now I need to do my bevel. Same thing I did on the other side. And the thing about this sole popping out and the other one not really popping out yet, that one was showing no signs, the other side, of shedding, being ready to pop out. This one had already started to do it halfway, so that's why I did it the rest of the way. I'm gonna leave the other one. Now, maybe I'll have to give that other foot a touch-up when that sole pops out in a week, or I'm gonna check it in a few days and see if it's ready to shed and just retrim the other foot. But you can't force something to happen that's not ready if it's gonna make the horse sore. Certainly, there are times in a laminitis case, in a neglect case, when you gotta do a drastic trim, and the horse might be tender, but it's what the horse needed. But you want to avoid making the horse sore if possible. Same thing, I'm gonna come forward. I think I'm just gonna come with the smooth side. I'm really not trying to take off too much material. Come on. Let's get you underneath yourself. There we go. Got my feet on my stand here, giving me stability. That's about all I wanted to do. He had a little chip here on the side. It's pretty much fully gone. So again, I'm just gonna squeeze this in here, in there. Guess I'll do there, can't hurt. But this just goes to show, even if you've trimmed the horse recently, I mean 6 weeks is not super recent, but it's not super long. If they shed sole, it can be a big trim job. And I went into this saying just maintenance hoof trim, and it was just a maintenance hoof trim, you know. I don't have a severe central sulcus infection. I don't have major flares. I don't have a toe crack. I don't have underrun heels. I don't have any major issue in this foot. But I did a pretty big trim. And I'm certainly staying on top of stuff like this little crack, any funkiness in here, so I don't want to have to treat a major issue. You always want to prevent in hoof care. Save yourself a lot of time, money, energy, effort, all of it. And here we go, we get a nice, functional, beautiful concave foot all the way around.